you're looking to start a podcast, look no further. Bravery Studios is the place to make it happen. New Jersey's #1 podcast studio. All you have to do is come here and speak and leave the rest to us. We handle the production. We do the editing, uploading, graphics, logos, everything. You name it, we do it here in Bravery Studios. Don't let these ideas live rent-free in your mind any longer. Come to Bravery. Become a Braveheart. Start your podcast today. I'm walking to the barbershop one day, minding my own business, when I stumble upon this hidden gem, a cafe adorned with arcade machines, hip-hop memorabilia, and all sorts of nostalgic trinkets. I immediately fell in love with the place and made it my go-to spot for breakfast. And the man behind it all, the one and only Ben, a true legend in his own right. With a heart of gold and a passion for all things 80s, 90s, throwback, Ben wears his heart on his sleeves, the walls of his cafe, and it even comes blasting out of his boombox every day at that shop. He's always been cool anytime I walk through those doors. Today I want to thank him for making the time to appear on this podcast and his patience on the arrival of its release. So sit back and let's take a trip down memory lane with Ben's Throwback Café. So I love cigars, but I've never really gotten into the culture and the rituals of it. But I want to start. I actually want to start. So maybe I can ask you some cigar questions. So we're here. We're live from Throwback Café. I'm here with the owner, Ben.
What's up, man?
How you feeling today, bro?
Good, man.
So I discovered this spot randomly, trying to find a barbershop nearby. I think I had just moved to that location there. I had just moved to Garfield.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
With the business. It's actually been 1 year exactly.
Has it been a year?
It's been a year exactly.
So much longer than that.
I know. And I peeked through the door. I think I heard the music first.
Okay.
And walked in, and I was like blown away. You're Garfield's best kept secret, man. This place is gorgeous.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I've been coming back ever since.
You might have saw like a lot of kids when you first walked by or something.
I'm trying to remember what day of the week it was.
Maybe it was Saturday. Maybe.
I don't think so.
No?
I think it was a weekday.
Okay.
And I think it was after.
After school?
Definitely have to be after school.
Okay, later in the day.
Yeah, there was definitely kids in here. I saw the arcades and everything.
Okay.
Blown away by. I had to tell everybody.
Appreciate it. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. You're definitely one of the better customers, so.
Yeah,
Grown-up
thanks,
customers,
man.
at least.
Yeah. So what got you started in this? What made you say I want to open up a cafe?
2014, 15, I was working in audio. I was working in Sea Caucus. It was like an audio video lighting company and all that. I was doing that for like 5 years. And we all hated it. We liked the job, but we just hated the boss and the managers and the uppers, you know.
Yeah.
So on like lunch breaks, we would get, hour lunch. So I would go park in this parking lot. I'm just sitting there, taking a nap once in a while. And then little by little, I'm looking around this big building with a couple stores. It was pretty empty, but a couple stores. And I saw an empty spot that could be perfect for like, food. And we had no food in the area that we could like walk to or get delivered. Like
This is Sea Caucus?
Sea Caucus, yep.
Yeah.
Right by like Burlington Coat Factory, that area.
Yeah.
So little by little, parked there every day, taking a nap. Looking at it, I'm just like, damn, this would be perfect because I want to get out of my place anyway. So I went back talking to my friends that were working there, and I'm just like, found a spot. Could be for bagels and all that stuff. And they're like,
You ever do anything with food before that?
Never.
You know anybody in your family or anyone you know that had one?
My uncle owned a bagel store, probably at that time.
Yeah.
Probably just got rid of it. But yeah, that had nothing to do with it. I actually had no desire in doing it. I wanted to run it maybe, not from far, not like be here on hands-on. But make a long story short, I was just there, and one day I just contacted them, the building owner. There was no signs, there was nothing. I just had to find the name somehow. I found the name, and they said it was for lease. It was already a food place like a year or two ago.
Perfect.
So I'm just like, almost everything was there.
Yeah.
So little by little, looked into it, and one day I just got, day by day we're getting fed up at work. And I'm just like, it was bad. It was like very stressful, all of us. We had a really bad manager. Hopefully he doesn't watch this. Actually, hopefully he does watch this.
Hopefully he does.
Hopefully
man.
he does.
Hopefully he does. So yeah, tell me what kind of work you were doing in the audio world. So you said not live shows. It was.
No, it was for like stuff like for the Grammys, and could be anything that you saw on TV or like concerts and stuff like that. But we did like behind the scenes. We did in the house. I was making racks for like the wireless mics and stuff like that. Like a million different things. Speaker systems, like multi-million-dollar equipment every single day dealing with it. We had like WWE contracts and like it was crazy. But,
Oh, wow.
but we also had people that went on the road. I wasn't one of them because I didn't really want to travel. I didn't want to fly everywhere and all that stuff. So
Why not?
just wasn't. I don't fly. I still don't fly to this day. I fly. Last time I flew was right before 9/11.
Wow. Is it because of 9/11?
Nope, nothing to do with it. I just I don't know. Being up in the air, 1,000-ton machine just doesn't make sense to me, man. So I kind of just stick to the ground.
No, I don't blame you, but so what do you do for vacation or anything?
Home, kind of just local stuff, you know.
Stay nearby and everything.
Yeah, I'm not a big vacation guy, especially the last 7 years of having this. You really can't. I mean, I kind of can now because I'm like to a point where if I'm not here, it's no big deal. I used to never think like that. I used to be like, I always had to be here, no matter what. Now I don't really feel like that no more.
I know that feeling.
I'll take a day off here and there every chance I get.
Yeah.
When the kids are off, the high school over here, I'm off.
Yeah,
You know?
I can imagine.
So
did you get to meet anyone cool at least in that industry? Get to see the big players or shake hands?
Not there. I only saw like Paul McCartney there. He was in our building, but that was like not a meeting place. Like I said, I didn't go on shows.
Yeah.
So if I did, I probably would have met everybody. But I met people when I was doing, the Def Jam thing. So that was like probably 10 years before that. So.
Talk to me about that, because you're a big hip hop head. Like, aside from the video games and movie stuff in here, there's a strong presence of hip hop.
Hip hop, R&B. R&B is actually my love, believe it or not. But hip hop and
Really?
R&B my whole life. Yeah. Yep. So I just made music my whole life since I was like 16, just writing and stuff.
Yeah.
Turned into a little more like making beats and stuff, and then recording. And I actually went to school for audio engineering and all that stuff, production and all that in New York, the Institute of Audio Research.
Wow.
So I did that for I think it was like 8 or 9 months, whatever it was. Met one of my best friends to this day. Graduated that, went to Def Jam for 2001 to 2003 and was there for a couple of years.
How was Def Jam? That was like the golden age when you were there.
It was the age, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they say 80s was the golden age of hip hop, but I think that 99, 2000,
yes,
that was definitely the golden age.
94 to like 2000 and we could say five, just mid 2000s. That was the time. So
that was DMX, that's Redman, that's Jay-Z, that's not Jay-Z directly, but Rockefeller under Def Jam.
He was there. I met Jay-Z a few times actually.
Oh, wow.
Like not like this talking like this, like that, but like a hi bye, walking by.
Yeah.
I have a funny story about that Jay-Z thing actually.
Go into it, man. Go into it.
Let me start off by saying my first day working at Def Jam was 9/11. I'm sorry, my second day was on 9/11.
I think you had mentioned to me this to me in the past.
Oh, I probably told you. I think that's what you wanted to do this for.
Yeah,
But my second day was 9/11. My second day ever in the city as a grown-up. 9/11.
Jesus Christ.
By myself.
What was that like?
Craziest day of my life. Obviously, I don't know my way around. Like I know little by little, subways, because I had to get to Def Jam from, Hoboken and all that stuff. But got there, I think we started at 10. So got there like 9:30. Obviously, the stuff was already happening.
Yeah.
We didn't know. I was downstairs in a deli eating a bagel.
It wasn't like foggy outside or anything?
We weren't
like the debris?
We weren't that close. They didn't fall yet. Whatever time it was,
just burning.
It was burning. Actually, before I even get to that, when I was in Hoboken getting onto the PATH train, I was on the corner. I forgot. I think it's Washington, right before the PATH train. I think it's Washington. And I'm looking up, and I see the Trade Center on fire. One of them. So obviously, I don't know
what was going through your mind.
I don't know what's going on. I thought it was just a fire, but it was a huge building. So I'm just like, do I go to work right now? Like, do I go? I was like, can I swear on this?
Yeah, you can swear.
I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go. I went there.
How old are you again?
42. I just turned 42.
No, I meant and that day.
Oh, back then it was 2001, so 21. I was 20.
Wow.
I was 20.
Wow.
I was like, I just went, took the train there, got in. There was no word yet. Sat down, started doing work.
Yeah.
And they were like, all right, yeah, we all are getting evacuated now. We got to go.
Holy
So I'm like,
shit.
what happened? And they really didn't know at the time. Nobody, anybody really knew the true story at the time. So went downstairs, got outside. People, nervous, walking around. A lot of people. So I ended up finding my way to, all the subways were closed, by the way. I couldn't get home. Like every single subway was closed. So I'm like, how the fuck do I get home now? Like I'm new at this. Like I've never been here by myself.
Wow.
So I started walking around and I just, like the ferries are still running.
Yeah.
The ferries are like 11 avenues away from where I was. Not blocks, avenues. Those are far.
Yeah.
So I walked to the ferry, and when I got there was a line. I want to say, like, if it ending was here, it was like this of 5,000 people.
Jesus.
So I'm just like at the back of it. I'm literally the last one with one person behind me. I'm just like, all right, well, I got to stay. So I ended up just walking around, and I walked behind the line, and I got to a wall. I just kept following the wall, and somehow I made it to the beginning of the line, walked right on the ferry, sat down, looked behind me, and the guy who was behind me followed me the whole time. He actually lived in Nutley, and I was in Clifton at the time.
Yeah, you guys were like escape buddies.
Yeah, and he was full with powder.
Oh, man.
So he was in the little building surrounding the area.
Oh, man.
So he followed me. I'm just like, damn, he was like powder everywhere. He was in my car, like powder was in my car. I ended up bringing it home. We got there. We walked from Weehawken Ferry to the Hoboken.
That's a very
that's crazy story.
Crazy bonding experience with that guy, right?
And that's actually why Blueprint is my favorite Jay-Z album of all time. It actually came out 9/11.
How did he manage to sell those albums?
He sold 400,000 records that week.
How?
It was a different time back then for like music. Now you can't sell like that no more.
Especially in New York.
Yeah. But guy was like the most popular at the time, and the whole Nas thing. And well, regardless, that album, besides being one of the greatest ever, even though it's fairly newer at the time, it goes down as one of my favorites because it's just the history, the story behind it. Not great memories, but memories, you know?
Memories,
and it's the craziest thing ever. And I actually, when I was in Def Jam, this is when the Nas and Jay beef was like really big. And, you know, Ether with Nas and Takeover with Jay and all that. Yeah. So Nas' thing, I'm a Jay fan. I've always been a Jay fan. My friends.
I'm a Nas guy.
I'm a Nas guy. I'm a Nas guy too, but I'm a Nas guy big right now because he's like monster right now. But I was playing Ether on the speakers, not louder.
At Def Jam?
Louder than this.
Oof.
So like everybody in the surrounding area heard it. Like they were all, you know, it was normal.
Yeah.
Who walks down the
Oh crap. Oh
crap. I
crap.
swear to God. I'm facing like on my computer screen. He's walking this way. I just do this.
Oh wow.
He heard it. He definitely heard it. He
looked in your direction?
Yeah, we locked. That was probably the second time we've ever seen each other.
Yeah.
But that time it was just very awkward. I was like, damn, at the one moment I was playing the song.
He walks by.
So I'm like, all right. So, but he was cool. Ever since then, I saw him like 2 or 3 more times after that. And we're always like hi, bye kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And that was before he was president of Def Jam. So he was still like just an artist.
Yeah.
You know? So it was cool.
Who else you bump into in there?
Christina Milian, you remember her?
Yeah, of course.
I actually worked with her a lot, like just online stuff, nothing serious. But she was like standing right here while I was on the computer doing stuff for her. And so she was young back then. She probably was like barely 20.
Oh wow!
So she was not a huge star. She's probably a much bigger star now than she was. She was into like that pop music back then.
Yeah.
DMX I was actually supposed to work with, which would have been like one of my just dreams.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go. My hours there were like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. because I still went to school and I had another job, so I was like getting in and out all the time. So my boss and like his boss was like, "You want to just stay till 6 and you can go on the video shoot with DMX and be kind of like just help with whatever." I'm like, "Absolutely."
Yeah, man.
So staying all day, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock hits, 5 o'clock hits, 6 o'clock hits. I'm like, "All right, it's time." Girl comes up to me, goes, "Yeah, DMX just canceled." Because back then, I don't know if you remember back then, he used to cancel everything.
Yeah, he was flaky.
He had like a lot of shows on MTV. He just wouldn't show up to, or he would just call and say, last day I'm not coming. So that was just one of the
I've
times.
even heard stories of him on movie sets where he'd like supposed to be filming and he's out there riding quads and whatever.
Yeah, he was a crazy dude.
Yeah.
But that would have been a probably better story than the Jay-Z story, but it didn't happen.
Damn, man. Yeah, man. I mean, you were definitely there for the height of it.
The best.
What a fall of an empire, man.
That's crazy.
Because that place is definitely not the same anymore.
No, they're not the same. I think they're still doing really well, but you can't be doing that much.
The culture is not there, though.
It's not.
The heart
no.
is not there.
Nas is bringing it back, though, because I've never loved an album more than I love these albums that he's putting out right now.
Yeah, he's working with that Hit Boy.
I'm not big on music anymore, like current music.
Yeah.
But he's not a current artist, and he's just bringing it harder than he's ever brought
It's crazy.
It's so crazy.
He's never been so consistent and like motivated, I guess.
So good, man. His flow is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So different.
Hit Boy is definitely motivating him, and like they work well together.
Yeah. He's not old, but he's like music old. He's hip hop old. He's 49, 48, whatever he is.
Yeah.
So I mean, but if he can bring it back and go another couple of years, like that's great for his fans.
This is probably the best run of his career. Like like consistent, like great albums.
Yeah.
Four great albums, right?
Yep.
It's King Disease 1, 2, 3 and Magic.
Magic I wasn't even onto until my friend told me about it. He's like, you got because I was like, damn, I love this KD3 album. It's amazing. I like KD2, but KD3 is a whole different story. And then he's like, listen to Magic. I listened to it. It was only like 8 songs or 7 songs. I'm just like, what?
All good.
Like the beats alone, like for the first song, Speechless, is like brings me back to like the early mid 90s. I'm just like, this is amazing.
Yeah,
I don't ever say that.
He's collaborating with a lot of people from his past. He got I think Cormega's on it.
Yeah. I'm not a big Cormega guy. Never was. I never was.
I don't think he has anything to be a fan of.
My friend loves him, and
really?
I can't do it. Yeah.
I've never heard someone say they love Cormega. That's
Sorry,
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's not my.
But he got Foxy on one of them.
Yeah, AZ.
The whole firm is on there. I love this run. I love that he's motivated again.
It gets my blood going again. I don't have that no more in music, man. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean Jay-Z's 444 had me like.
It didn't have me.
Yeah, you didn't like it.
Have me.
Yeah,
nope.
I loved it.
I don't like anything that Jay's been doing.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I can't say anything that interested me about him.
He doesn't need to.
Yeah, he doesn't need to.
He doesn't have it. And Nas didn't need to either, but I feel like now he probably did.
I'm surprised.
So different.
Because he's got a great
he's got a great discography,
yeah, and he has great things going on outside of music.
Oh,
he's got investments in Lyft,
Ring,
Dropbox, a whole bunch of huge tech
he's
stuff.
He's a damn near billionaire,
yeah,
and he's still making the greatest music he's ever made.
Yeah. You know? I mean, we can gush about music all day, man,
definitely.
but that's cool, man. That you were there for the height of it. So what happened? When did you leave Def Jam?
Being there 2 years, kind of like interning / little money here and there. I was still young, but I still needed money. So I'm just like, I still got my connections. I still went back every so often to see people. So I'm just like, let me just go back to school just to get something, because I just didn't want to. I didn't want to take chances. I want to go to school and at least have a degree and all that stuff. So I went to school for to be like just a teacher, backup plan, just in case I need to go. And I did actually end up finishing in 06, but it's never been my love. It was just more of a backup plan. Yeah. So from there, just a couple jobs here, a couple jobs there. Always avoiding that whole teacher thing. I'm just like, let me just try to squeak by without getting to it, because once I do it, it's probably never going to end. I'm just going to be there forever, and I don't want to do that.
I'm sure.
I'm just like, even though I'm a dream follower, whether it happens or not, take chances. So
take chances, take risks.
It's all about that in life,
Yeah, for sure.
I'd rather take a chance and fail than never take a chance.
I tell people that all the time.
And I failed like 2 or 3 times. So
yeah, you have this. How you learn from it. It's how you grow, pretty much. So yeah. You left Def Jam for 2 years. Was it just because the internship ended, or you just?
Yeah, it never. I could have been there forever, to be honest. I probably could have. I'd probably be working there right now if I really chose to.
You needed finances. Was that it too?
You living at home. You kind of getting the pressure, and getting older. You're not in high school no more. I'm like 2 years out of high school, 3 years out of high school. I'm just like, it's definitely money. When you're young, it's all about money. You just want money. But I wasn't feeling it. I was doing the same shit all the time. I'm just like, okay, I'm meeting people, but I'm still here doing the same stuff, and I kind of want to do my own thing. So from there, started doing my own music stuff and recording studios, and met, like I said, one of my best friends to this day. Just the twilight years, definitely, man. Just the good times.
Who's your favorite rapper?
Tupac.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah, justifiably.
Always been.
Justifiably. Yeah. Do you think he really was a gangster, or was it just an act? A lot of people are saying now that they
Who knows? Like you can if you say that about Snoop, you probably say yes.
I don't know if Snoop's a gangster.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying anymore, but like I don't see Pac as that. Pac was a loudmouth, I loved it. He's just a little guy. He's smaller than us. Yeah. But feared by many.
And so young, bro. These guys died so young. Even though when we were kids, they looked larger than life.
So crazy, right? Like I watch a lot of old YouTube almost every night. Go back to like the early 90s, mid 90s Pac, like all those songs. I'm just like, I'm looking at him, I'm like, it doesn't even seem real that I'm watching him on TV right now, because most of my life, he's not been around.
Exactly.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, mine too.
He died when I was 16. He died at 24. Like, that's 26 years ago for me. It's so crazy.
A kid, bro. He died a kid.
So, I mean, if he was still around, who knows?
Yeah.
Him and Big, like, who knows?
Yeah. I think Big L would have been huge if he would have kept going.
He lost. He ended it early, man. It sucks.
Yeah.
He had a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Nas brought him up in one of the songs, too.
Yeah, Nas talks about him. Nas brought up a lot of history. Yeah. Yeah, and especially the most recent one. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So you moved on. You jumped right into...
I went to school. Like I said, I was doing that. But on the side, I was making music. I was writing music. I was... that was after the audio research. So, yeah, me and my friend opened up a studio. Actually, while I was Def Jam, we actually opened up a studio in Hackensack. It's a small little office that we just made into a studio. It wasn't really a studio. It was like we faked it, saying we were just going to do like paperwork and stuff, but we ended up making it a recording studio. We did that for 2 years there, and then we ended up moving and going right across the bridge over here, Outward Lane. Another crazy story. My second studio with him. It was in a basement of a funeral parlor.
Basement of a funeral parlor?
It was like I don't want to. That wasn't abandoned. They used it maybe once or twice a year.
Yeah.
But we were in the basement of a funeral parlor that had on the other side of the wall, like you walked out of our room and there was a lobby of bathrooms. To the right, there was the embalming room.
Did they complain about you guys when they were there?
Just because they thought somebody was living there, because we were there at all hours of the night, like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. So, but besides that, no, everything was through headphones, and we did speakers. It would be like, it'd be loud, but it'd be like at a time where they're not going to hear us. They're like 2, 3 floors up. There's apartments. They're not going to really hear us. So, yeah, it was a crazy situation. We had an embalming room to the right of us, which we actually
did you smell it?
We snuck in a couple times just to look around. It was a big metal slab table.
Yeah, man,
so
that's spooky stuff.
We actually walked upstairs like with no lights on, just to walk through the funeral parlor at night. It was crazy.
Embalming fluid has a weird smell to it too.
Yeah, I don't think they use it like that as much, because they had another one, so we were lucky that we didn't get that part of it.
Yeah, yeah. You ever drill into like wood and like, you could smell it in some pieces of wood that they put it in?
That's what it's like.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. It smells weird.
I'm glad I didn't get that then.
Yeah, man. And then, so from the studio life, then you moved on to that job that you...
Yeah, the audio video job and all that stuff. Yeah, that was like probably like 3 years later after my friend that I told you I met for, one of my best friends now. He's been locked up since then.
Wow.
So that's another reason my passion kind of went away. I did a little bit after that, but when he went away, I was like, all right, I'm getting older. I got to kind of like focus on more guaranteed things, and just went on to work at the audio video place and did that. And then
but in Secaucus, so you always wanted it to be a vintage kind of like nostalgia kind of cafe.
Yeah, that's always been my life. Yeah, just my whole, people who know me from years past walk in this place and they go, this is like your bedroom back in the day. I was like, it's exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted.
It's really cool, man. So yeah, you so you turn your business into your childhood bedroom pretty much.
Yeah, because I always say when people walked in, they're like, damn, I've never seen something like this before. I was like, would you rather be involved in this when you're working here, or would you rather be 4 white walls and no music and no TV and just working on, work? Like, pretty much. Not what I want to do, so.
No, this is definitely the coolest thing I've ever seen when I walked in here.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Like, it really took me back. I love all of this. I wish I had a space like this in my studio, to be honest.
You could definitely do whatever you want.
I definitely could. I have some corporate clients that I get nervous that if I put too much of my own taste in the building, that I might scare them away
a little bit.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm kind of getting to the point now where I don't even want to work with corporate people anymore, just because the expectations are so high. And you have to kind of put away a little piece of your personality a little bit. That's just the corporate world in general.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, but no, you made this place gorgeous.
Appreciate it.
So you're in Secaucus, though. This is not, you're not by schools or anything. So you're not getting the crowd you're getting now.
0% of kids.
Yeah.
I think I saw one kid in my little over a year, like 15 months there. One kid. So when I got here, I was expecting kids. Obviously, this is my hometown, so I know the area. I know the high school students. I know I was going to see kids. But it wasn't to what it is now, what I thought it was going to be. I was like, I'm seeing like 50 kids at one time, every single rush for 6 years now. I'm just like, I'm used to it, but it still gives me anxiety.
But I've seen the videos of your place in Secaucus, and it was huge.
Beautiful. It was so beautiful.
It was huge. But was it financially viable? Was it making money? Was it?
I would say it was my first year being open. So, I mean, and it wasn't nowhere near this. I was making like a third of what I'm making here.
Yeah, because your crowd is what? It
was mostly
workers?
Businesses like my business that I was working at, the audio place. There was all audio places around there, so it was a lot of them. Workers. It was all workers. There was no houses or apartments over there. So
I know the area. Yeah,
so it was different. If I could do it all over again, I would have started here.
I mean, it's got to feel good to have a business in your hometown. Yeah, for sure.
No, yeah, definitely.
But the struggles of this place. I mean, you told me that this wasn't like built to be a restaurant when you got it.
Oh, when I have pictures I can actually show, and you can upload them and show them if you want. But there was no walls, bare floors, no ceilings. The whole white wall back there in the bathroom, there was nothing there. So it was one big square, just like, and you could walk from here into the physical therapist before it was a physical therapist.
It was all one joint.
It was all one joint, because this was Meltzer's, like a sporting goods store.
I don't know a lot about the restaurant business, but what I do know is that when you want to open a restaurant, you find another restaurant. That way it's already built for it.
So putting in a grill and the vents and all that must have been a nightmare.
It was a headache, man, because I was still running the Seacoga shop at the time, and I was going back and forth with my landlord here, thinking like you're supposed to help me with this. You're supposed to do this. And he's not supposed to. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
He's
some landlords do, some don't.
No, but he wasn't supposed to do anything. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, you're supposed to just come in, do what you got to do, and get it going. I'm just like, damn, he's probably right. So,
well, sometimes they help you just because they want you to make money.
Yeah. And he does help me. He's the greatest landlord ever. Greatest landlord ever. He's a 180 from my last landlord in Seacoga. He actually paid me to leave.
Oh, wow.
After I threatened him. After I threatened to get my lawyers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because we were trying to get out of there, and he just wasn't answering me back. So I'm just like, mention the word lawyer in an email. He gets back really quick. So
you got out of your lease? Is that it over there?
A couple months early, maybe 6 months early.
So why'd you want to leave from there?
There's a new owner. He bought from the old owners. The guys that I met, he bought it from them. So they were like rebuilding stuff. He was like this multi-million-dollar jewelry guy, and they were like summertime. They were shutting like the air conditioners off. We had no air conditioner in the summer with food. Everything was melting, and in the winters we had no heat. So I literally had a jacket, like the jacket that you walked in with. I had that on all day. Cooking.
Oh man!
So like at the point, I'm just like, I can't do this no more. I gotta say something. I kept emailing him and texting him and calling him, and no response, to a point where I just had to say that, I'm gonna have my lawyer contact you if you don't fix this. So I gave him a number. He said okay, gave me that number, and within like 3 weeks we were out of there.
Wow.
But this was already going, so that's good. It wasn't like open, but it was building. They were building it for me.
Yeah.
So we were gonna do two at the same time, but I'm glad it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, that would have been a headache, man. That would have been a headache too. You would have been at both.
I already have a headache now, man.
I bet. But working with the kids now, like, what's it like? I mean, I see the rushes in here. Sometimes I
avoid it.
I sometimes avoid it. If I do come in, I'll just sit down. I'll let it cool down a little bit and just wait for it. But I know kids can be a lot.
It's crazy, man. Like I said, the first 5 years I was here, 2016 to 5 years later, it was a blessing. I had a lot of kids, but there was no bad ones. It was like occasional one here and there.
Yeah.
But the last year and a half after COVID, some of the worst behaved kids I've ever seen in my life. Ever. None of them that are into video games. They're just into like vaping and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And they're troublemakers, man. But I just ban kids. I kick them out. I don't see them no more, and that's how it is now.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to get rid of them. You just have to say, no entry.
But I got good kids working with me. Obviously, you see them every day. So I got these good kids every year, like 4 kids every year, and they're like angels. They do everything for me. So they actually run this place when I'm not here, because I'm in the back all the time.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm sure they cherish it. I mean, this is a cool thing. I wish I had something like this when I was in high school.
Me too. I think I told you once, I had one place for like 1 year when I was like in 6th grade. And that gave me like an idea. I always wanted to do something with like the arcades inside of something. And I ended up doing it, but I only had it for a year. So like, we didn't have much of this growing up.
And you're not a big gamer, right?
Old school gamer, not like new gamer. No.
Like what era? Like 80s or 90s?
Nintendo, Genesis, Super Nintendo. PS2 was probably my last real system that I actually played.
Got you. And you kind of embraced what they are into then.
Yeah.
You kind of like let them bring their own stuff in here, set up.
Yeah, they bring their own stuff. They definitely my main kids that has been with me since day one. They kind of like run the TVs. I don't think there was a day in 5 years, 6 years that these TVs were free for anybody else but these kids.
It's cool stuff, man. It's definitely cool stuff.
And then I had to bring in the arcades to show at least my stuff, my time.
Yeah.
I gotta have that Zelda on. I gotta have Mario. I gotta have Excite Bike.
You ever sit here and just play them? Like when
I used to when I had more time. And I don't have a lot of time anymore. Like I'll come here and I'll throw on a game just to have the music going in the background. Yeah. That's about as far as I go now.
Yeah. No, definitely cool stuff, man. I want to bring as many people here as possible, and I do try to.
I see it.
Bring in everyone that I meet.
I appreciate it.
I definitely spread the word out, and I shout you out a lot to my podcasters over there. When they say they need somewhere to eat real quick, I tell them, hey, just like a minute away.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Throwback Cafe.
Yeah, you've always been a good one. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, definitely, because this is the coolest thing I've seen.
Thank you.
And what is like growing up in Garfield?
Back then it was great. Like loved it.
This is suburban Americana, right?
Yeah, it's not the same anymore. With the people and the higher ups, not my forte anymore. I'm actually don't even live here anymore. I live in Lyndhurst.
Gotcha.
But look wise, it's about the same. People wise, mixed ethnic, people. It's all good. Like it's just the higher ups and the people are not my people no more. It's just not the same.
I would imagine. I would imagine.
All my friends live here. My cousin still lives here, but majority everybody else moved out.
Gotcha. I mean, for one, me coming here, sometimes I feel like an outsider in the town or whatnot, and I feel like I don't know enough people to kind of get something going with the city. But for the most part, I love the location. I love Outwater Lane.
You got a good location.
Yeah,
you got a good one.
I love it out here. I do hate that there's not a stoplight right there at the corner of my shop,
so they can stop and see your stuff.
Not just that, it's just crossing the street from 7-Eleven to the building is a nightmare sometimes.
Yeah, I got you.
It's a nightmare sometimes. And this street is like a main artery.
Yeah, I don't think you're ever going to have one in that area, to be honest.
No, it doesn't look like it.
The firehouse is right there, so.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
But no, I think the town is dope. I have friends that grew up here. Meeting you was awesome. Just having a fellow business owner that's into like some of the same stuff that I'm into is definitely cool. But no, I think the town is dope. I think it has that suburban Americana feel. The fall time here is beautiful because of the trees.
Oh yeah, especially this area.
Yeah. Do you have any goals going forward with the business?
Not really, to be honest. I don't really want to be here every day, to be honest. I want to have somebody maybe run it one day and then do other things. I have a lot of other things I want to do besides this. So I just don't have the time to do it right now, or like the energy.
Well, maybe these kids are growing up. Maybe one of them.
Yeah, I have a few. I just brought one in that just graduated 2 years ago. He worked with me he's been with me since he was in 8th grade, my first year. He graduated 2 years ago, so he's actually cooking for me now.
Oh, wow.
So he's 3 days a week for now, but he's really good. He's one of my top guys. So if I can get him in and maybe a few other kids that worked with me, maybe I can do it. I just leaving the shop and then knowing that 40, 50, 60, 70 kids are going to be here at one time, it's kind of hard for me. So like even picture that happening.
Yeah, I could imagine.
But we'll see how it goes. I definitely have plans, and when that happens, it'll be hopefully even bigger than this.
Wow. So what is it? Can we talk about it?
I mean, we can. I don't want anybody stealing my idea, though.
Okay. Well, can we speak about it? Like what industry is it in, or is it still food based, or?
No, absolutely not. I'll never be in food again. Not that I hate it. I just know how much work is involved and all the overstock and all that stuff. I just
Is it music based?
Not really music based. It's picture this without food. And I don't really want to get too much further into it.
No problem. I hear you.
We could talk behind the scenes for sure.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's pretty cool stuff too. Then you still have ambitions to get into other industries and whatnot.
Yeah.
So the way I look at you is you're kind of setting up pretty much communities. You're building communities inside of your business. You're providing a space that from your own memory of what you enjoyed as a kid, right?
Try to bring back any kind of happiness you need in this life, because obviously this life is scary now. So like when I get sad, depressed, mad, anything happens, I just go back to these times when I was younger, and it just gives me that feeling, that warm feeling. Like there's a lot of everybody goes through their stuff, their struggles and all that stuff. And like when you have like a bad day or something, I literally just go home, put on YouTube, or I'll sit here when we're closed or something, or just when we're open, I just have a little time to myself, and I'm just like looking around, watching a movie, listening to a certain song, have a cigar in my car with my music on. I'm just like, that brings me back to those good times.
Exactly.
So that's really all I look for, man. So
yeah, we all need that for sure.
If I could do that and make a little money on the side, why not?
How was the pandemic for you? Was it spooky, man?
Different. It's definitely scary, because who the hell's been through it before?
Yeah.
Scary because a lot of my clientele is kids. Even though I did see some of them still, like my regulars, definitely scary because obviously money is the most important thing in a business. So, money wasn't the same.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But that first year when they all went back to school and COVID was over, is the biggest year I've ever had by far.
I can imagine.
Profit-wise. And then the year after that, which is this year, it was like 50% more than that. So I'm just like, it made up for those lost times. So
I mean, the kids want to go out.
Yeah.
We're stuck in the house for a year and a half.
And I've been here for now, it's going on 7 years. So like the word of mouth it's big now. So like those kids who graduated have younger brothers and sisters and friends, and middle school kids are coming from all the way on the other side, all the way over here now. Like they're rushing here after school. So, I mean, that's word of mouth right there. So, I mean, everybody said, why don't you have bigger signs, bigger neons, and more advertising? I was like, I don't really need it, because the town, the kids are the main thing, and they're coming. So why would I have to?
Exactly.
Not going to lie. If I get any more business, I'm probably going to have to do something about it.
Yeah, you're busting out the seams.
Yeah. So,
that's why it took me so long to find you. I mean, not too long. I had to walk by.
Yeah.
But driving on this, I've driven on this street all my life. but I've never seen this.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, a sign would attract more attention, but
Yeah.
honestly, you're doing great. Then yeah, who needs?
I'm not gonna, it's not broken, so I'm not gonna try to fix it.
Yeah, exactly. You definitely would be busting out the seams though.
Yeah, man. You see me.
There's some days that
I can't even talk to you sometimes.
Yeah,
sometimes I'm just like angry and just like you're like, all right, let me just order food and go real quick.
Yeah. No, I've never seen you angry.
I'm
Not
angry
like
every
that.
day, man. The people that I deal with, I love them. I love my customers, but there's those handfuls that.
No, I can imagine, man. So, what did you do during those years, or just that one year, 2020? Yeah, of COVID.
I was here every day. We were open a lot. I think the first few months or whatever it was more like walk in, go. You can't sit.
Yeah.
So a lot of that was happening. I have Uber and Grubhub, so that was holding. I was making a lot of money on that actually. Obviously, that's where I like 400% more on that than I was doing. And now
they were taking a big cut of that though, right?
They take their cut. They take their 30%, whatever it is. But I just raised my prices and I'm breaking even.
Okay.
So I'm fine. That doesn't bother me. They have to make money, so they're a business.
Yeah.
So I'm all good with that.
And also the exposure from them has been great too.
Yeah. Like to a point where you got to see me during the day with my kids when I'm working and I hear the sounds of Uber going off. I'm like screaming at the tablet because I don't want to deal with it right now. I was like, damn, we're so busy. I can't. Sometimes I shut it off.
Yeah,
I'll scream from the
blame you.
I'll scream from the back while I'm making food. And I'm like, shut it down.
Yeah.
So we shut it down for like an hour.
You know what? Let's look at your menu real quick because some of the names on there have always been curiosities to me. Okay, so you have New Kids on the Block.
That was actually made by a friend of mine. He became a friend of mine here. He's like, he used to be a customer, but he's married to an old time friend. We went to school, me and her, back in 5th and 6th grade, I think.
Yeah.
So he actually walked in here one day and he's like, "Yeah, I'm Stacy's blah blah." I'm like, "Holy shit!" And that was 5-6 years ago. We've been friends ever since. So he actually came up with the name with that.
Was that his order too?
He probably did order all that together. Maybe I probably added a couple things on it, but that was because of him.
Got you. Yeah. You got toasted turkey and ham. Melted mozzarella, mozz, lettuce, tomatoes, grilled onions. My reading is horrible. I should just stop now. We got the mixtape. What's the mixtape? Where'd that come from?
I don't know. I always had these mixtapes. Obviously, we all did, like the actual cassette tapes. I used to have this like blue and yellow mixtape. So I don't know. We always used to make them. So I was like, I'm trying to think of names for sandwiches. Makes no sense. I just threw them on there. I'm just like, all right, that one fits because the mixtape's like the healthier sandwich. So. And you got the 84, which I'm sure you have a question about that.
Yeah, you actually told me before.
Do you remember what it was or no?
You said that was the best year in
movie history.
In
my opinion.
In your opinion. So what came out that year?
Put me on a spot. Freddy won.
Okay.
Probably the second best Jason movie ever, Part 4. Terminator 1. Gremlins. Bachelor Party. If you look around the wall.
What was it, Animal House?
Animal House was 80, I think, so I don't think it was. You know what? No, you might be right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
No, Animal House was 80.
Okay.
Give or take.
Okay.
But there's so many. If you actually Google it one day offline, just check it out. You can be like, damn, he was a go like line to line to line. Just read everyone. Ghostbusters is my number one favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a ridiculous amount of movies.
Yeah.
So I just named it after the best year in movie history.
It's crazy because for me, I've always been told that 99 was the best year in movies.
Really? It's all different. But that's...
You know what 99 is? That's The Matrix, Fight Club, American Beauty. Yeah. What else is 99? Office Space.
Mm-hmm. Was that American Pie too?
No. Well, it might have been
one of them. Maybe
it might have been. I think American Pie was 99. But yeah, I've always been told 99 was the best year in movies. So it's cool to hear someone say that 84. I've never actually heard 84 before.
Everybody's gonna have their opinions on that. Yeah, grow up with different likes and preferences and all that.
Exactly.
But 96 was probably my favorite year overall with everything. Just time of being alive.
Music and movies and everything.
Just I was 16 years old, 15, 16 years old, and everything I was living through, we lived through the greatest times ever. Yeah. So that personally is the best to me. But movie-wise, 84. I mean, there's a lot of good years in movies. 89 was one of the best movies, best years for movies ever. Plus you throw in all the Nintendo and all the video games that came out during that time. 89, 90.
I'm trying to think. I think 94 is the one that comes to my mind for as far as just media in general. Yeah. Video games, music, movies, all that stuff. I can't name a single one.
Of what?
From the 94. I know Illmatic is 94.
Yeah, 94, yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, I just know like 94, a lot of great stuff happened that year.
94, I think, was my first year in high school. So that's kind of how I base my memories, and I go back to where I was during those years.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think what else Came out 94. I think. Damn, I want to. Did you ever watch 12 Monkeys with Bruce Willis?
I've seen it. Yeah.
There's a part of that movie where he's walking through New York. I think it's New York, and there's Illmatic posters all over the walls in one scene. I wonder if they knew, or if Nas even took notice of that.
He might have. It might have just been there and just.
It was just on the street, so he just made it into the movie. I'm sure.
That's awesome.
Great advertising right there. Actually, I gave the Street Fighter the movie soundtrack a listen.
Did you?
There are some hip hop gems on that thing.
Oh, like already good songs that were just thrown on there.
Yeah, like made for the movie, but they're not even in the movie. Really? There's no hip hop tracks in the the one with Raul Julia and Van Damme.
Yeah, I know.
Not a single hip hop track on there, but the album is laced with hip hop tracks.
I gotta check it out now.
Yeah, check it out. There's an Ice Cube song on there, which is like totally racist.
Wow.
he just took the name Street Fighter and thought it meant Kung Fu, and he's just
that's hilarious.
Saying all this wrong stuff about it.
But she looks back at that now. He's like, "What the hell was I thinking?"
Yeah. There's some Wu-Tang on there.
Man.
Nas has a gem on that album.
Really?
Called One on One.
Okay.
You ever hear it?
No, not by name.
That's 94. This is Illmatic Nas. So yeah, total gem on that I hadn't heard until like a couple years ago.
Wow.
And I was like, how is this song not like in his like greatest hits or whatever?
I gotta hear it now.
Yeah, it's a classic. It's a classic. A total classic. But yeah, the Street Fighter the movie, the soundtrack.
Okay. It's about the only good thing about that, because the movie wasn't that great, right?
Well, you know what? I've grown to appreciate it because Raul Julia, he was so good as Bison. He was so good in it. He was so cheesy and hammy. And then Van Damme, he wasn't good as Guile. He wasn't good playing an American. I don't know what they were thinking.
He was probably just big at that time.
He just had the physicality, though. He did have the body for it.
Yeah.
You know, and he had the skills. But just him trying to speak, sound like an American was just, that was a bad move. That was a bad move, definitely. Definitely a bad move. But do you know any other good video game movies? Do you have a favorite?
You put me on a spot again.
How do you feel about the Mario Brothers movie? The one with Leguizamo and...
Oh, the old school one?
Yeah.
One of the worst things ever made. It's one of the worst
but
things.
It had its charm.
Watch it. I'll still go and watch it. You know, again, we grew up with Mario, so like us seeing that on screen, it's always going to touch us in a different way. So then like sending like somebody that was born 10 years ago to watch it, or 5 years, to 15 years ago to watch it, they'll be like, well, this is the biggest trash I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. And it's close to it, but it will touch you in a different way, you know. Even like the cartoons, like they weren't great, but they hold a special place in your heart. The Zelda cartoons.
The Zelda cartoon.
They have some really bad dialogue in it. And
horrible.
But it's so classic, man.
Yeah, they're definitely classics. The Mario cartoon had a rap in the beginning.
Man,
they had a rap.
That was one of my favorite shows.
Lou Albano?
Yes.
That's his name, right?
Yes.
Captain Lou Albano?
Yep. One of my favorites.
Him telling you don't do drugs or you go to hell. Or you'll go to hell and die, something like that. Christ. He used to say.
He used to bring on all the guest stars. Like you had like Nicole Egger. He had
big stars on there.
They did. It was big back then.
I'm trying to think. Damn, who was the one I saw recently that I was like, I can't believe they had this star on here. Oh man, I did like a run through of it. It's all on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
the entire series is on YouTube.
I watch a lot of it.
He had Elvira on there. Wow. Elvira,
Mistress of the Dark.
Yeah, Mistress of the Dark. Yep. He had her on there. I was like, wow, they had Elvira on this kids show. Yeah, all busty and everything. Yeah.
Gotta make them men eventually.
Yeah, I guess so. Man. But yeah, those shows. This is before they knew what the games were even about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I don't blame them for kind of venturing off into.
You gotta get those followers. You gotta get the listeners and the watchers. Somehow. Yeah. If you're a 12-year-old kid watching that, you're gonna watch it as soon as you see that. So you're just like, damn, and then it'll catch your attention. So
yeah, definitely. You have cartoons that you like hold on to.
Number
like,
one,
to
I have three. Top three for me.
Go for it.
Overall, it's He-Man.
Which one?
He-Man, the original.
Oh, He-Man. Oh, yeah, forget about it.
Master of the Universe.
Did you get the action figures and everything with it too?
I have them at home still.
Wow.
I'm not going to tell the whole story, but my uncle bought me a bunch of them. Like when I opened up this place, like he just brought them to me. He's like, "You know what this is?" And I go,
"That's awesome."
Yes. So I have like 70 at home still. Wow, and if you look back there, I got the castles back there on top of the fridge.
Wow.
So that's the original 84 castle, or 82 castle.
Yeah.
So I have all those, and then you got the Turtles, obviously, Ninja Turtles, the originals.
Yeah, that's 88. They came out like
87, 88, 89, all the good years. Yeah. And then right behind me here, I don't know if the camera can see it, but Ghostbusters, the cartoon.
The cartoon was great.
That is one of the most, it holds a big place in my heart. I used to run home from school, which was down Jewel Street in Old Forest Square. And I used to live right behind Price Right. I used to run home to watch it at 3 o'clock. So that was like one of my greatest memories. I was like probably 4th grade, 5th grade, running
Price
home.
Right was a park before, right?
No,
Wasn't
it was Price Right. And before that, it was A&P. And before that, it was Pathmark.
This guy was in my studio. You know Joe Benango?
Yeah, Benigno's Tire and all that.
Yeah. He said it was a park.
Well,
back in the
probably
day.
before
Probably
I was
before your
born.
time,
Yeah,
because he's
before I was
much
born.
older too.
Yeah, before I was born, I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
I did see pictures of stuff like that, so he might have been.
Yeah,
But it's always been some kind of food place when I was living there.
gotcha.
But I
The
used to run home.
Ghostbusters cartoon, it confused me a little bit too.
Really?
Because I would watch it and then go to the movie and not see Slimer everywhere. Because
Yeah.
Slimer was so good in the cartoon,
Yeah, he
but in
was
the
he was-
movies,
they made him the star after a while.
yeah,
you know.
yeah, he became like the main character.
But that was actually made. The movie was made first. So I mean,
Yeah,
they kind of. But then after that, like after Ghostbusters, right after that, like 3:30, I think the Police Academy cartoon came on.
Police Academy.
And it wasn't big in like a lot of people won't remember it. They'll remember the movies, but that cartoon was awesome.
I have faint memories of it, like
Just
not a lot.
I think the Fat Boys made the theme song.
Oh wow,
Yeah. So like when you hear it, you're just gonna be like, "Damn,
Yeah.
this brings it back." You're gonna hear it, and you're like, "Damn, this brings it back a little bit."
yeah. Did they have any of the actors from the movies in it? Like the guy that made sounds with his mouth?
Like as actual
the cartoon?
voice actors.
Yeah.
Not sure,
Yeah.
but they might have. All the characters were there. So
Yeah.
if they didn't have what was his name? I know exactly who you're talking about. He was the most talented dude I've ever met, ever seen in my life.
Yeah. The guy that made the sounds.
He would do like guitar noises and like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got you. I don't know. If
What was the actor's name? The main character from that movie.
Again, on the spot, I can't remember.
Yeah, he has such a cool name. Once you hear it, you'll be like, "Yep, that's it right
Yeah.
there." Trying to remember, but
the main dude you're talking about, right?
the main guy.
I can't remember, and I'll think of it eventually.
The Police Academy movies were a moment in time.
Oh yeah,
They
man.
were
Too many of
definitely
them,
big
but the
moments.
first 2 or 3 were amazing.
Did you like the second Ghostbusters?
Meaning part two? Oh
the
yeah.
one where they get the Statue of Liberty. And
Oh
everything?
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it was it's exactly the same movie as part 1.
Yeah.
It was hand in hand, same exact movie. Obviously different with the the ghosts and all that. A lot
Yeah.
of people don't like it, but if you actually watch it and you don't like it, then you don't like part 1 because they're
Yeah,
exactly the same movie.
The same movie, pretty
Exactly
much.
the same. But
I love part 2.
soundtrack is phenomenal.
Soundtrack's amazing.
I play a song from Bobby
Bobby
Brown.
Brown?
I play it like it just came out yesterday,
Yeah.
and I have not stopped.
Yeah.
It comes on this place once a day at least.
Yeah. That Bobby Brown song is
Yep.
fire.
That was Bobby Brown's time.
Yeah,
89,
that was definitely his
88.
time. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Did you watch the newer
I
Ghostbusters
did,
movies?
and I was in love with it.
You like the new
Yeah.
one too?
Yep, just that original, not the girls.
Oh,
not the
okay,
girls. No,
okay.
please, that we don't talk about that one.
Yeah.
Just the new one. And I, when it was coming out, it was advertising for like a year.
yeah.
I was like, damn man, they're gonna mess this up again. Like obviously, Egon's not gonna be in it, and Harold, Harry is not gonna be. He's dead. I was like, they have to have it this way, and I kind of like drew it out for it. I was like, they have to have it this way, otherwise it's not gonna work.
I haven't seen that one yet.
All right, well, if you're a fan of
Yeah.
Ghostbusters, watch it, and you'll see what I'm saying. I don't want to give too much away for you then.
Yeah.
But they pretty much did it just the way I was telling you. I was like, this is how it has to be. This is how it has to end. The only reason I would change it to add more of the original Ghostbusters in it, but they were in it just enough to a point where it touched the hearts of the fans.
Is there gonna be more?
Yeah, they're making another one
Yeah.
now, or they're done with another one now. Yeah, but they're probably not going to get any better than they already did. They might get more fans, younger fans, but that one, they did the job.
You can spoil this for me. Did Bill Murray make it into it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
If he wasn't in it, it would have been a disappointment.
Yeah.
He had his
he's
little
been-
quirks.
Yeah, he's been on and off.
He's
and
a weird dude, man.
Yeah,
he's a weird
man.
dude.
He just shows up at random places, I think,
Yeah.
and
Weddings and stuff.
weddings and all that. Yeah, man.
He didn't even want to do part 2. He hates part 2.
Yeah, I know.
But he shouldn't because it's a classic.
Yeah, but he hates everything. I think
does.
he's just becoming a bitter old man.
He's a strange dude, man. Like I
Yeah.
said, but
A lot
he's
of those
always been
guys,
weird.
A lot of those actors age, and they start hating their own
Yeah.
movies and everything. Like Harrison Ford, he hates Star Wars. He hates all of it.
Really?
Yeah, he hates it.
how do you hate it?
Because
I
I
mean-
guess he gets asked questions about it too often.
Like I'm not a fan of it, but it's a classic, probably one of the greatest classics of all time.
made him famous.
How do you not? I mean, maybe he gets asked too much about it,
They probably ask him way too much because the fandom is insane. for that.
stereotyping him and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah. He hates it. He likes Indiana Jones, but he doesn't like Star Wars.
That's
at
the
all.
one thing I never got into. I watched it obviously when I was growing up, but like I've never watched it in 7 years here.
No, Indiana Jones is great, man. I like the second one.
Really,
I like the one where they're in India and they're like ripping people's hearts out
I
of their
do remember
chest.
that one. Yeah, is that the one they were like having a dinner with all the people?
Yeah. It was like a James Bond movie
do remember
in the
that one,
beginning. That's my favorite one. That's the one people like the least.
Really.
But I just think that movie's so fast paced. Like the action goes from action to action. There's only like one quiet moment, like in the middle when they're having a dinner.
Yeah.
But like the whole movie is just cutthroat, like straight roller coaster ride.
I'll have to rewatch that part 1 again just to see if I maybe I fall in love with it or something. But I just don't see it.
They just showed a new one. They're gonna make a new one.
I did see that. He's getting older though. I could tell he's getting.
Well,
old.
they're using the
CGI
to make him younger. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how much.
This gotta be the last one.
I don't know how physical. I don't know how much of him is physically in the movie, because they can put your face on a younger guy's body.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, they did it with Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars cartoon too, and everything. I mean, the Star Wars show.
Okay.
So yeah, man, a lot of those things from our childhood now, because of the internet, they're not going away.
No, and they shouldn't, man.
Yeah,
they shouldn't. And that's what I love. I don't like the internet for a lot of things, like social media and all that stuff. You know, I'm on it, but
yeah,
like for them to bring newer fans into it, and like I said, I deal with a lot of kids, so a lot of my normal kids, they love these movies that I play all the time. Like they're big on Ghostbusters, they're big on all the Jason and the Freddy and Michael Myers that they love it. They might not want to watch it as much as I have it on, but they love it, and I love that they're bringing that back to show the kids these days, because they're not gonna have that that generation that we had, that time that we had. They're not gonna have the Michael Jackson, the Michael Jordan. They're not gonna have the Freddys and the J. It's crazy if you think about it. They literally are not going to have a Goonies. They're not going to have a Tales of the Crypt. They're not going to have Back to the Future.
That is wild to think about.
They're not going to have a Terminator. They're going to have those feelings,
Yeah.
They're not going to have the feeling of sitting on a carpet, Indian style, playing
games with their friends.
Yeah,
together.
like Iron Mike's Punch Out and eating a bowl of cereal on a small ass TV, and it's just not going to have that no more.
That is a sad fact.
It really is, right?
That is a sad fact.
I think about that way too much, because I make these kids feel bad sometimes because they're always boasting about shit. I'm just like, your era sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say it. It's not your fault, but it sucks.
But it's cool. That's the mission, it seems like, in here. Like, you're bringing that back for them.
I'm just trying to put it out there so they see it,
And they do have nostalgia for it. The kids appreciate this stuff.
Like I said, a lot of the kids before COVID, all these years, loved everything that I was doing.
Yeah.
Now you just get, it's a weird generation, man.
Yeah.
It's a weird generation.
I mean, I don't know. I see them, like, with the nostalgia gear, the clothing. I see them walking around with like retro devices.
That
like
stuff's coming back.
Yeah, because there's everything always comes back around.
Yep.
So now that this is like vintage stuff to them, even things that like when I was an adult, Scott Pilgrim came out. That was like a video game.
Yeah.
A love letter to video games, right? Now that's a vintage movie.
To them, it's a vintage. Yep.
To them, it's vintage.
They're always talking about it.
Yeah, and that movie's not even old to me.
No.
That movie's probably 10 years old, and that's it.
It is, right?
Yeah, it's only 10 years old.
But I think I've only seen it once, but they did a good job on that, though.
Yeah.
Soundtrack's
amazing.
It was really good. Yeah.
A lot of video game nostalgia in there. A lot of good music in there too.
You get the right directors and the right writers and the right producers, and you'll get a movie like that every so often to bring it back and bring those memories back out.
Sometimes they bring it. Sometimes they sell you nostalgia without any substance, though. Like
they force feed.
They force it. Like, you seen Ready Player One?
I've probably started it. I never finished it.
It's horrible.
I can't. I heard great things about it when it first came out.
No,
it's a great idea. And I started watching it, and I kind of just
it's just a hodgepodge of like looking every direction, and there's a piece of your childhood just not there for any particular reason, just there.
Force fed again.
Yeah, it's just there. There's no heart behind it. So there is a lot of that too. Unfortunately, there's more on the way. Even Fortnite, the game that all the kids are playing now. Yeah. There's a lot of retro stuff in that game, but all the characters are holding guns. So you have Ryu and Ken in there, and they're not shooting fireballs. They're just they're just skins. There's nothing special behind it.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. You can't really get me involved in this conversation because you're gonna get me going on a 4-hour rant. So.
Hey man, that's what podcasting is.
It is, but
podcasting is just ranting on a microphone for an hour.
I have way too much opinions on this generation.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna do a part 2, man.
Do as many as you want.
Now that we got the origin story out of the way, we'll do a part 2 and we'll go in on it. We'll go in on it. But it's cool, man. You set up a location where kids can come and have that experience that you had when you were growing up.
That's all I want. I want to relive it myself. I'm a little selfishness too, because I want to just relive it over and over and over again, and I don't care. Like, you want to join me, and we can talk about it all day.
Yeah.
These kids want to talk about it, we can talk about it. If not, I'm just gonna force feed it to them. So I don't care.
Hey, it's needed, like you said, because right now it's all about being on your phone, your neck pointing downward the whole time, all day, and 3 seconds of dopamine drops. Like, that's what they're getting all day.
We're all victims of it too. Trust me. There's times when I'm here and I'm doing nothing for a little while and I'm on my phone 24/7.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, God, when you're walking around in the streets and you're with friends and you're with family and you're doing your whatever, just put it down for a minute, man. Just put it down for a minute.
Just think of like a family dinner. Like, not even with video games, music, and movies. Just think of like the the like, I guess pre-internet family gathering without technology around you. Like that's kind of gone. Like,
it's way gone.
100%. You're gonna go see your family at a dinner table. One of the kids is at least on his phone. Maybe
Absolutely.
two. Maybe all of them.
That's where the good parents come and they be like, take it down.
Yeah.
For an hour or whatever it is, and there's no phone right now. We talk.
It's crazy.
I don't even think I've even had that. Like I've had glimpse of it in my life. You know, me and my mom were just sitting down or stuff like that. But or me and my grandma and my mom. But there's not a lot of that I remember, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I miss that whole like my parents teaching them how to use a phone is a mission. My dad clicks he has a smartphone, but he like clicks around so slowly. It always is like a mission for him to find anything in there.
I just got my mom and stepfather the Fire Stick. I gave him my Fire Stick with the apps for watching.
Are they calling you to ask for help with it?
No,
all the time?
I did it mostly so he can watch Thursday Night Football because he's a football fan.
Oh, gotcha.
So now he watches it on app. But I told him Netflix and all that stuff, and I don't think they've been doing it. My mom definitely doesn't do it, but he's like that. My stepdad is like that kind of guy who won't try anything new. He still has a flip phone which he doesn't use, and it's always turned off. Like texting is never going to happen in his life. Yeah. But I try to get them. I think I bought her one time, like 10 years ago, a hard drive to plug in her TV to watch. I had like 1,000 movies downloaded for her. And I was like, yo, watch any movie you want, Mom. Anything you want. Literally anything. From 1950 to yesterday. And she never used it. It was always in the box. And one day, like 3 years later, I ended up taking it back and using it. So
what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's hard to teach them how to do this stuff.
Yep.
But she loves this place, right? I see her in here a lot.
She's here like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And I saw her today, so she loves this place.
Yeah, I see her in here a lot. So, this is definitely, it's heartwarming. That's what this place is. I feel like it's welcoming and it's homey when you come in here.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I want.
Yeah, and the kids are cool. And also, like, working together with you, like, just even you letting me put the posters on the wall, the kids come and see it. Like, half of the kids that come to my events, they found out about it from here. So, no, it's great synergy. I really do appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
For sure.
I know it's been a year since you said you came here. I haven't been in your spot yet, so maybe whenever you're free, we'll go over there and check it out.
Yeah, man. Whenever, man. Because
just to see it. Cause
I
hate to be that guy. I'm just not a podcast guy, so, I don't really have a reason. I don't record anymore, so.
Do you listen to podcasts at all?
My friend did one about 2 years ago, but it was more like political. And I'm not a big politics guy. He actually stopped doing it recently, but I listened to it just to support him. Yeah. I'm not a big podcast guy, man.
No Joe Rogan, no.
Not once.
You know what I'll tell you, man? You should listen to Nori's podcast.
I've seen it on obviously YouTube a few times. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm a weird dude when it comes to that.
I just think you'll love it just for the fact that there's so much like hip hop stories in there that are great. To give you one, the song Super Thug. You probably were working at Def Jam when Super Thug came out.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Maybe not Def Jam just yet, but I definitely had a Nori shirt that I got from wherever. I think I was working at Nobody Beats the Wiz.
Yeah.
And I got a Nori shirt. But go ahead.
Yeah. So the hook to that song. It's like what. So that was Nori's that was his method to stay on beat. Like whenever he used to go to a studio, they used to tell him like, yo, you're very off beat. You got to try to get on beat. So he would just do that what to try to stay on beat the whole time. So he's been doing that his whole career. Yeah. And then he finally meets Pharrell from the Neptunes, and he records with him. And they laced the verse. Then like, all right, he said, I'm gonna go smoke. We're gonna come back and do the chorus. So he goes smokes. He comes back, and he's like, all right, I'm ready to do the chorus. And Pharrell's like, no, dude, we got the chorus already. And he's like, what? What do you mean? He said, no, what you were doing in the booth, I saw it, and I was like, that'll be a great hook. And Nori said, I've been doing that my whole career. Yeah. And no engineer or producer has ever thought that sounded cool, what I did. Yeah. And Pharrell was the first one. So like,
Pharrell is a genius, man.
Musical
genius.
He is definitely a genius.
I don't even know if you know this, but do you remember the song SWV, the remix when they did the Human Nature version of the song back in '90? You know the song.
Probably.
Right? It's called Right Here.
I don't know. It's not coming to me though right now.
They sampled the Michael Jackson song. He actually was in the hook a little bit.
Yeah.
Pharrell had the background of it was a remix background, but I'll play it for you. It was literally 92 or 93, which was a long time before he really got on.
Yeah, right. He didn't get on to like 2000 or 99 maybe. Yeah,
mid 2000s, maybe early 2000s, but like that was a good long time before that. And I just found that out recently that he had that. He was like a 14-year-old, 15-year-old kid back then, whatever he was. And he had that back then. I was like, oh, he's been on here. He's been
around for a long time. He just didn't get his name out there until like I think 2000. I think the year 2000 he finally
with
popped.
With the Nerds,
yeah. I think what was it? Was it on the Dynasty? Jay-Z's Dynasty album? He had that He had that Jay-Z song. I forgot what it was called.
He had a lot of Jay-Z songs, so he was definitely big with them.
Yeah, but I say all that to say that you should check out Drink Champs just for the hip hop stories.
I'll try.
There's definitely some gems in there.
I'll try. I've definitely, like I said, I've seen clips.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm just
and it's very much about the history of hip hop too. Like he talks about Big Pun. Like he has a lot of Big Pun stories. He has a lot of Big L stories. Everybody.
I always liked Nori. I just never thought he was that talented when it came to rapping. Like he's not a really great rapper.
I don't think he's a great rapper. No. I think he's a great. I think he's good at coming up with his own lingo.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So like hearing his rap, it wasn't so much about
what he's saying.
What he's saying is the way he's saying it.
Yeah.
He
made some hits. He definitely made some hits.
He's made some hits, yeah.
And I played a lot of it, trust me. Even when he was with CNN, like it was I actually met him too. I not met him, but walked by him in Def Jam too. But
was it both of them?
No, I think he was just Capone was just getting out of jail. So
Capone's always just in and out of jail.
So I either just missed him or I don't know, maybe he just wasn't there that day.
Capone was just always in and out of jail. I don't know why. I don't know if it was my older sisters, but there was always a CNN album in my. I had that 100 CD player thing.
Oh yeah,
and there was always a CNN album in there. I don't know whose it was, one of my sisters or whatever. But yeah, Nori, I didn't think anything too special as a rapper, but as a podcaster, it's great because he has so many connections with every artist. So since he built great relationships with people, he's able to bring people on the show and they're comfortable with him and they'll open up about things that they probably wouldn't tell Joe Budden or anybody else. You know what I mean?
He's a good entertainer. He's always been.
Absolutely.
You don't have to be a great rapper. And like back then, you're always thinking about lyricists. You're always thinking of Nas and Jay and all that. Yeah. But he didn't have to be that. He was just. I hate to even put him in this category because they're both kind of who I'm going to compare him to him is trash. Like Puffy, horrible rapper. He's not a writer, but he was an entertainer. So
he never hid the fact that he didn't write his own songs.
Yeah, and he made hits.
He made hits.
He was just a smart dude.
He just never. I like it better when you're not trying to make it look like you wrote everything.
Yeah. Like when you can actually come out and say, I didn't write this, I give you more respect.
Dr. Dre's like that too. No one ever hid the fact that he had people writing for him.
And he's not writing because everybody he's with, you can tell it's an Eminem rhyme or you can tell it's a Jay rhyme. Like it's just the way the flow's coming out.
The way it flows all different in every song. Yeah, you can definitely tell.
But just no respect lost for Drake because he's one of the greatest to ever do it in every way.
He's a billionaire too.
And just the beats alone from the 90s, like he's a musical genius.
Yeah. He's and the headphones.
Yeah,
he made $1 billion off those headphones.
God, yeah.
Everybody had those headphones at some point in time.
Yep.
Everybody had them.
He got out the right time.
I think he was the first hip hop billionaire. I think he beat Jay-Z to it.
Yeah, Jay didn't get there till recent 10 years.
Yeah,
maybe.
Recently. I think he got there maybe 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah,
so
he's quiet at it though. He's very quiet.
Very quiet.
He doesn't want that. What Jay has.
Not at all. Not at all. But like I said, man, we can gush about hip hop all day.
You don't gotta get me started.
For someone who doesn't like podcasts, man, you should. You probably need one.
Hey man, you ever want to start a podcast? Let's go. But you just gotta keep it on my level.
Yeah, man. No, I absolutely. I didn't trust me. Your level is where the good stories are, so it's fine with me. How do you feel about Tupac as a rapper, as a lyricist? I know he's your favorite, but I don't think he's a great lyricist. I think he's great at hitting the heartstrings.
His wordplay is phenomenal.
You think so?
Yes, I could play a song right now for you, and I actually just heard for the first time, and I'm just like, he's an artist, man. That dude is he's not gonna be a Nas to you.
Yeah,
he's gonna, like you said, he's gonna pluck the heartstrings a little bit, and he's a storyteller. He's a battle rapper. He'll destroy you. He'll say whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt when you have Suge behind you at the time.
It doesn't hurt. Does not hurt at all.
But
he was vicious.
Is he a lyricist like Nas? No. Is he? No. But his wordplay is he was a little before his time, man. Because if he was still around now, we would have had all those years of him making great music with better producers. He had West Coast producers. No offense to them, but they're not what DJ Premier is, and even now Hit Boy, they're nothing near that.
No.
I heard so many songs of Pac growing up being a fan that he was off beat and stuff because he just had bad engineers and bad producers, but then he also had the classics of all the classics and. Those, I don't know, something about Pac just did it for me. I was always a Pac guy, never a Big guy. Always liked Big, but just Pac was my guy.
Yeah, Pac definitely was a revolutionary. He definitely he stood for more than just music. Yeah, for sure,
definitely.
And imagine as an actor how far he would have gone.
I think he would have been one of the better ones, hip hop actors, definitely. Maybe the top one ever, but
I think even taking the hip hop out of it, he would have just been huge as just an actor in his own right.
He's very believable in everything he did.
Yeah,
because he didn't really. he didn't really. I mean, he did play a cop a few times, and that was kind of like hard to believe when you're a Pac fan.
Yeah.
But he did a good job at it too.
Did.
I think the only thing that really hurt Pac was that he was so small that taking him as his tough guy in movies is very hard to, because you could kind of just like hold him down and
yeah,
you know.
I mean, I think it was okay when he was playing a teenager, but when he played an adult tough guy,
Juice was great, man.
Yeah.
Juice was great.
Juice is great. Juice is a horror movie.
Yeah. It really was. Right?
It's definitely a horror movie, like, but just with kids
in the hood, right?
In the hood. Yeah, because it just switches. It goes from being like a buddy little high school movie,
and he just appears and scares the hell out of you.
He becomes a Freddy and Jason at the end.
I never thought about it like that. You're 100% right.
Yeah, he definitely does. They just did a total 180 in the middle of that movie and made it into a horror movie.
That one scene in the elevator when he just appeared, and I'm just like,
he's like, "You're gonna shoot me in front of all these people in the elevator?" He's like,
just staring at you, just staring at the whole time.
Yeah,
Pac.
Yeah, no, great, phenomenal guy, phenomenal guy. But
I actually met a guy who met him when I was working at the Wiz one time.
Yeah,
he actually came in. Obviously, there was no camera phones back then.
You were at the Wiz at
right where Best Buy is now.
Where Best Buy is,
yeah. So that was my first place I worked at, like real job.
Legendary store. A lot of famous people walked in there. Yeah.
I met like Patrick Ewing and Kerry Kittles there.
Oh, he lives out there. Yeah,
Patrick Ewing held. He was holding like 35 CDs in one hand. Like this.
Wow.
Because he was so big.
Wow.
But I met a guy who met Pac, and he was telling me stories about it. I'm just like, damn. Like I mean, he was telling me like personal stuff too. I'm just like, all right, I'll believe you. I don't know if it's true, but he looked like he could be like one of those bodyguard type guys, and this white Italian dude. And like, all right, but that was pretty cool to hear that. Just even if he did meet him, that I met somebody that met Pac, was pretty cool.
Yeah, did he tell you any good stories?
Not that I can remember. He's just talking about the girls and the liquor and the partying and all that. Just
imagine there was a lot of that.
Yeah, the stuff that you already know probably. So,
do you have any last stories you want to tell from working at Def Jam and being around all this?
My Def Jam stories are the main 2 or 3 that I told you. Those were my big ones. So, not too much in there. No, I mean, my CD collection is phenomenal from Def Jam. To tell you that.
Yeah,
I used to walk out of there with so many CDs, and like that wall is obviously the camera can't see, but that wall is like a third of what I have at home.
Well, I'm actually going to film a lot of this stuff before we head out. But, well, is there anything else you want to plug in before we go, man?
No, man, just keep coming to Throwback Cafe. Just keep coming. Hopefully I'm not angry and mad that day, and we can talk more. And I definitely want to come see your place, and even if you're going now, I'll come with you now. Just come see. I want to check it out. It's been
come check it out right now.
It's been too long that we've been talking, and I haven't, had
I
one
know
foot in there. So
we get busy with everything.
It's just like you get out. I get out of here. I'm just like, I'm going home. I'm tired.
Nah, I don't blame you.
But I do want to I want to see when nobody's around, just to see it.
Yeah, come by. There's nobody in there now. I think the massage therapist might be in there.
I don't care. It's all good.
But that's about it.
All right, man.
But yeah, man. Yo, this was awesome.
I appreciate you.
Long overdue.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you too.
We'll do more, man. Definitely.
Yeah, we'll definitely do more, because now we have to go into the ranting episodes.
Oh, ranting.
We'll get into it.
Don't get me started, man.
We'll definitely get into it.
I gotta get some beer in me for that.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it. We'll pregame for sure. But all right, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that jazz, and make sure you check out Throwback Cafe here in Garfield. What's the address here?
116 Outwater Lane, Garfield.
116 Outwater Lane in Garfield. About a 3-minute walk from Bravery Studios. So we'll check you out. Keep on keeping on. Peace.